Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Before we get going, I want to remind you that everything you're about to watch, and some, you can watch with no advertising, and you can also get the extended videos if you join the group. If you want to join, you can either go, you got two options. You can go to daixrp.com, join through the Patreon, or you can click the join button here if you'd rather join through YouTube. And down here in the description, you'll see all of the links. If you want to join through YouTube, there's a link. Patreon, there's a link. So that is there. If you want to do it today, by the way, in the group, we're going to talk about, I'm going to continue talking about what's about to cause a tidal wave of liquidity. And also we're going to look at my crypto watch list and talk about that a little bit further. Okay, let's get it going.
XRP community, the SEC versus Ripple case is over. Now the path is clear, and the celebration at XRP Las Vegas 2025 just went 10x. And you need to be there May 30th and 31st at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Hear from White House Crypto Council members on stage, including Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Giancarlo. You'll also hear from Dr. Christopher Brummer from Blueprint. And one lucky builder developer will win a $25,000 prize for the best Web3 project idea. Go to the EZA app to register for your chance to win $25K. The excitement is building for XRP Las Vegas 2025, the world's largest XRP conference. Get your tickets now and lock in.
Okay, go to xrplasvegas.com. This thing is coming up. It's going to be here. I mean, it's at the end of May, and Bitcoin Las Vegas is going to be there too. You better hurry up if you're going to do it. Now, the market, the sentiment shift is noticeable on X today. It's moved bullish in crypto. You can see the fear gauge is starting to tick up. XRP's at 245. We're going to get into a lot of the positive sentiment. Here's Tim Draper.
It's going to happen. Sure. Yeah. I mean, people want a prediction. Sure. 250,000 by the end of this year. But
end of 2025.
Yeah. But what's really going on is we should really be not comparing it to the dollar anymore, because the dollar is, all fiat currencies are going to fall against Bitcoin. They continue to fall against Bitcoin. People look at Bitcoin versus the dollar. They're looking at the Bitcoin price in dollars. If you look at it slightly differently, you flip it around, Bitcoin's to the dollar, you see the dollar just falling off the map. But people aren't looking at it that way. I think you should be comparing Bitcoin to, how much, a dozen eggs or whatever it is. I think that's a better way to imagine it, because it's almost not fair to compare Bitcoin to the dollar, because if you believe, as I do, that the dollar is an antiquated currency that is not long for this world, in the next 5, 10, 50 years, that's not even a fair comparison.
Okay, here's the sentiment shift underway. Get ready for a wild week in crypto. That's from Whale FUD. We got this, the Ripple XRP ETF approval in 2025. This thing is sitting at 83%. It had spiked to 85, even to, I believe, 87%. But right now, let me hit the refresh to make sure. Well, up here, it's weird. Up here, it says, yes, 87.2 cents. But here it says 83. So I don't know if this changes after this changes or what. But then Smoke put this out. Yes, institutional investors actively hold XRP and intend to increase exposure when XRP ETPs are available for trading. 73% surveyed investors hold cryptocurrencies beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most hold only 1 to 2 others, like XRP and Solana. There you have it. Now look at this. The IMF says digitalization has created new financial services products and digital assets designed to be used as a means of payment or act as a store of value. Does anybody remember this clip? Brad Garlinghouse on stage back in, I believe it was 2019-ish, with Ross Leckow, who was at the time the IMF General Counsel.
You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe I should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you.
Whoops, I was texting someone.
IMF.
Okay. And then we had this, Cointelegraph. Putting U.S. gold reserves on the blockchain would benefit Bitcoin despite the two assets being nothing like each other, says NYDIG's Greg Cipolero. Do you remember this video I put out in 2021, folks? Because Bitcoin's the distraction. This new financial system was always going to be having some type of gold backing, and they're going to use digital assets to do it, and they're not going to use Bitcoin to tokenize this stuff or to track it on the blockchain.
It does look like Bitcoin is going to survive this. But at the end of the day, when we get that inflation and they reset the current currency into the new currency, do you think they're going to reset it against Bitcoin or Tesla stock or even real estate? No. They reset it against gold money because it has the greatest functionality of any asset. It is used globally in every single area of the economy. And it's finite and it's indestructible. So we can account for pretty much all of the gold that has ever been mined. And there's more than 4,800 cases of currency resets, and 100% of the time they do it against gold.
With central bank stimulus weakening the dollar and gold being only about $100 short of its all-time high, a question has started to arise: can gold replace the US dollar as the world's reserve currency? The dollar has enjoyed this status for decades, but since it detached itself from the gold standard in 1971, it's essentially consistently weakened on a macro level. Confidence in the U.S. government and the political system in the U.S. is one of the keys, and gold doesn't have that issue of a loss of confidence. But what it does have is a problem with transportability.
There it is.
That's why it's more likely that a currency backed in gold, or even a digital asset backed in physical gold, could potentially replace the dollar much more easily than the actual physical bar of gold could.
Think stable coins backed by gold. XRP, it is that simple. Greg Crypto's gone totally bullish. Look what he says is that simple. It's us messing around here and then going. He's got it showing up over $38 XRP. Bring it. Then Crypto Wizards turned bullish. XRP bull run targets. XRP is broken out of the 6+ year macro structure. The bull run has begun. Targets $270, $450, and $8. Then he's got this. XRP's next move. The big week awaits. XRP bounced from weekly support and is holding its gain. A new all-time high awaits above 280. Patience pays. And then Dark Defender. Good morning, friends. XRP looks excellent. Road to 275 first. A little hassle on 255. Don't forget our support. 242. Road to 585. It's not financial advice, but my thoughts only. I hope you have an extraordinary week. And then this guy, look at this, XRP to $5 to $10, conservative and realistic for this alt season. 20 to 25 is achievable, but we need a BlackRock XRP ETF combined with an alt season to see this. XRP to 100 is achievable in 2025. If we see banks, they'll start using crypto, blockchain, and XRP. XRP to 1,000 realistic if we see utility run. If we see mass adoption of XRP into existing financial framework, if we see XRP utilized and adopted into banks, financial institutions around the world. And I think I'm going to finish here. I wanted to show you, this is Jazzy Cooper. She did an interview with Tony Edwards of Thinking Crypto. Let's go to here.
Now, there's been a lot happening on the XRP ledger, a lot of exciting news and developments, but referencing the recent report that was put out about institutional DeFi in the XRP ledger, tell us about that. What's on the roadmap here, and what are you guys trying to achieve?
Yeah, good question. So, Ripple and RippleX are a single contributor to the XRP ledger. So I don't view this as the XRP ledger's roadmap, but rather, Ripple's contributions and our view of, how we would like to see some of the use cases on the XRP ledger grow and expand. I think we're not the only ones in the industry that are seeing the big uptake this year and last year by institutions. And now that's accelerated even further by, the current regulatory environment that's starting to really look deeply at digital assets and how they can improve industries, as well as the current administration in the US that's now, more crypto friendly than past administrations have been. So there's a lot of tailwinds that we see now, and we think it's the right time to really double down and do what Ripple has really been focused on historically, which is providing blockchain-based building blocks for financial institutions to bring their businesses or part of their businesses onto the blockchain and unlock efficiencies, cost reductions, et cetera, by leveraging the core competencies of blockchain. So that's kind of what we're looking at a high level, and happy to dive into specific examples of that as you're interested.
Yeah, sure. How about tokenization? Because I saw just the other day, RWA.xyz, I think that's what it's called, integrated XRP ledger, where we can see the active developments that are happening on the XRP ledger for tokenized assets. What is your vision there, and how are you trying to attract institutions to tokenize on the XRP ledger?
Yeah, that's a good starting place. So tokenization, is kind of the beginning of the life cycle for any sort of on-chain finance. So if you want to do stablecoin payments, you first need stablecoins. If you want to do, real estate investment diversification, you first need an on-chain real estate token or something along those lines. So tokenization is really the beginning of everything when it comes to RWA and institutional DeFi. And so we're really just trying to increase the utility and lower barriers to entry for institutions. So one proposal we put out recently is called multi-purpose tokens. You can think of that along the lines of a semi-fungible token. And that standard allows for developers and token issuers to attach metadata directly to the token object on chain versus the traditional or legacy fungible token on the XRP ledger, which we call tokens or IOUs, is more of a relational object. So, I owe you $1, you've given me one token. So by allowing a standalone object, this is better for, say a bond where you want to store the terms and the duration, the interest rate, all, on that on-chain object. So we're really trying to look at these use cases and make sure we have the building blocks and the standards to best support them and give, a best-in-class experience when they bring TradFi onto blockchain.
All right, good stuff. Now we're going to go into DAIXRP.com, the Patreon, or you can click below this video, click the join button through YouTube if you'd rather join through there. We're going to talk about what's going to bring all this liquidity into the crypto market, and we're going to look at my crypto watch list. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go.